Hey, what's up, Silas here. So, there's been some ongoing news about the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation in the United States of America, having an actual informant or spy within the Trump campaign during the campaign for whatever reason. Now, news about this is coming out, and there's been leaks to like the New York Times and other places about this because the Inspector General of the United States of America was going to come out with a report kind of exposing this stuff. And there's some headlines that just came out today. One of my friends sent me this headline. This is an opinion piece from the Washington Post. And wow. Anyway, so the FBI didn't use an informant to go after Trump. They used one to protect him with a subheading that what the president doesn't get about counterintelligence. Okay, so you guys can find and read that article if you want. Another one here on the New York Times. FBI used informants to investigate Russia ties to campaign, not to spy, as Trump claims. Now, this could just be semantics on my part, their part, but this FBI informant who was investigating Russian ties, that's not spying. How was he doing it? Was he not doing it through some kind of spying in that sense? And in this kind of situation, this FBI informant didn't use an informant to go after Trump. They used one to protect him. So if something had happened with the Russians during this thing, and this informant found this stuff, that wouldn't have hurt Trump. That wouldn't have affected Trump. That would have protected him. How again? So I don't understand. But what I'm trying to just kind of focus on this one is first of all the ridiculous nature of these this this covering for the Democrats, covering for the people, because this is something that happened under the Obama administration. So a lot more is probably going to come out about that, but I think a lot of people won't be swayed. But one thing I think is good to focus on this is now, how is this whole thing like I can spy on you, I can do X for you because I'm looking out for you. How much of this is an actual thing that happens on a regular basis? If you had one of those like crazy, that meme with the overprotect, no, the overly attached girlfriend meme, where someone's like, I need to spy on your emails to protect you. I'm not doing this because I think you're talking to other women. I'm protecting you so other women don't come and flirt with you. That's why I need all your social media accounts. That's why I need your email account. That's why I need to keep checking your phone numbers. That's why you need to forward all your material through me. That's why we need to do it. You'd probably be like, no, that's crazy. You're not doing that to protect me. You're doing that because you're paranoid and you're trying to fix something or trying to mess something else up in this whole situation. Now, on a larger scale of it, a lot of people, this is kind of consistent, especially to people on the political left, about what they think. They think you can't do X, so let us look over this for you. Like, oh, you're not actually able enough to know what food is good for you. So let's the Federal Drug Administration, let this governmental institution come in and look and check and make sure that these certain foods are good for you, these certain drugs are good for you. Oh, you're not capable of actually educating your children. You don't know what's good for them. So to protect them, to protect you and to protect your children, give us your kids and we'll take care of them. Oh, you're not allowed to do X, Y, Z. So let us have this from you, this information from you, and then we'll be able to actually go out there and do it. When people have a situation with like Facebook, I talked about this thing in defense of Mark Zuckerberg thing. They're saying, oh, Facebook is taking all our private information and doing this, and then they're adjusting what we do and they're giving these people our information. But the government, states do this on a constant basis, and we, I think, all have a certain level, most of us have a certain level of acceptance to say that, yes, I am going to let the government have this amount of information or this amount of oversight or this amount of insight into my life because they're doing it to protect me. So I think this is a good point to kind of think, like you're kind of thinking like, oh, this FBI informant, if you're on the political right, if you're a Trump supporter, you might just think this is ridiculous. You might be completely right that they're just covering their asses. But I think this is a good thing to also kind of ask yourself, how many things do you allow other institutions, other governmental institutions, other people in your life to look into information on you because they're doing it ostensibly to protect you? How many things are you supporting in the government that you want other people to give information to the government in order to protect them from that thing? Just think about that, and I think it's a good kind of time to kind of wake up on some of these things, or at least shine the light, start a conversation, like the people on the left like to say. And yeah, let me know, what do you guys think about that? Did you guys read those articles? Oh, what do you think is going to come out of this? This is happening during a school shooting, and I remember there was some previous school shooting where something was happening. This Russia investigation was going on, and people were like, "Oh, it's convenient that this shooting is coming out because it's taking away attention from the Russia stuff." I doubt you're going to see a lot of articles coming out now saying, "Oh, there's a convenient part of this Texas shooting because it's taking away attention." No, I think they're glad that attention is being taken away from this FBI informant in Trump campaign, because this is very questionable. And if this was a thing to protect all people, why wouldn't they do this to all political like, do they do this? Hey, maybe they do. Actually, maybe the FBI has been doing this the whole time, but I saw somebody do a comment, like, if this was supposedly something that was for the protection of Trump, why didn't they have one for Hillary Clinton? And then someone was like, oh, they don't need an investigation. They don't need an investigator. They had Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was telling the FBI everything as is anyway, they were working with them. But yeah, so like, share, and subscribe. Links below to the merchandise store. And oh yeah, one last thing. This whole Trump investigation thing, it's really odd what's happening. The United States of America appearing to be like just any other country in some situations. There was a story here in Nairobi, Kenya, of them talking about how some high-level governmental people are actually going to be put under investigation, how they're improving the anti-corruption movement here. And they were talking about other countries, how Jacob Zuma in South Africa has actually been taken to court. Okay, now he hasn't been found guilty and arrested or put in jail or fined for anything, but just being taken to court is a step. They were talking about the Brazilian president who's actually in jail. Former Brazilian president, I think in jail for like 8 years. I had a previous video about talking about the South Korean president, and South Korea has had a history of corrupt politicians, corrupt presidents and leaders, and just showing how that's happening. Yet in this situation, they also mentioned the Donald Trump thing. And I'm thinking, okay, you're mentioning the Donald Trump investigation, but an investigation, is just an investigation valid, or does it depend on what's being investigated, if it's valid or not? And this is the kind of thing I think that sticks out with this Trump thing. It's just being looked at like, just by you being under suspicion, just continuing the investigation in and of itself is something that's going to make him seem like he's more criminal, that he's a criminal. So that's the unfortunate thing that I'm seeing with this, and one of the unfortunate things. And just thought that was interesting that these people talked about this, but they're not going to come out and say like, oh, maybe there's actually a questionable reason that investigation began. I'm thinking this move of having an incumbent president, the actual president, Obama, having somebody actually looking into the campaign, having somebody with their intelligence agencies in the campaign, or somebody running for president, that smacks of some third world developing country despotic type stuff. Yeah, well, that's it for this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.